Hi there, I'm Vanessa Bartlett and I'll be presenting on the Online Prosperity Show. I'm a life, mind and body coach, and today we'll be talking about how to improve your lifestyle and decrease stress and how to become more productive in your day through good health.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show. And today I've brought you Vanessa, the mind and body coach. Vanessa, how are you doing today?
I'm really well, thank you, Prosper. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Well, obviously I'm excited to have you on the show today because you know something, Vanessa, if you don't feel well, you can't do well. All right. So the reason why I brought you on the show today is we are suffering from a lot of burnout. We're suffering from a lot of fatigue that, results from our day-to-day activities, trying to run businesses so that they're profitable and enjoyable. And the reason why we're listening to Vanessa today, if you're in the audience right now, is because Vanessa has a vast understanding of what it actually takes to get in shape, stay in shape, and build a healthy and sustainable lifestyle that involves your body, your mind, both your body and your mind. And Vanessa has helped, thousands of women in her lifetime so they could transform their bodies through popular group classes, personal coaching, and she's also known to help clients reach their optimal level of health and also a greater awareness of, their mindset. Now, you've had a lot of TV appearances as well, which means what you do show people and how you help people actually works. Now, Vanessa, thank you so much for your time, today on the show. Tell us a little bit about how you got started on your personal fitness journey. What was happening at that time?
Sure. Well, if we take it right back years ago, I was actually watching aerobics Oz style as an 8-year-old. So getting up, watching the TV as a youngster, but fast forwarding a few years, had a successful personal training business in my early 20s, mobile personal training around Sydney. And then kept doing that, working at various gyms, doing, classes and personal training and, small group clients and circuits and all of that stuff and doing heaps of exercise myself. But what happened was I hit a point in my late 20s where I hit burnout. So I basically had to stop everything for 2 years and figure out what was going on with me. I was exhausted. My mood had gotten really low. My eating was really funny. My mindset just wasn't ever clear. So I went to various doctors to go, okay, well, what's going on here? I'm supposed to be, this fit personal trainer in the fitness industry, and I love health and exercise and all of that. What's going on with me? So finally I found out that I was going through adrenal fatigue, which is like a chronic fatigue type situation. So your adrenals are responsible for fight or flight mode in your body. You may have heard of that. So basically, in the old days, you are in fight or flight mode if you're chasing bears or something, right, in the jungle. But these days, we don't have to do that kind of thing. But what's happening is because stress and life and commitments and pressure, just everyday living, is getting to a lot of us. So your adrenals and other aspects of your body hit burnout point. So that's basically what happened to me for 2 years. At that point, I had to stop all of my gym, fitness, and all of the health stuff I'd done for, 15 years prior. And then go, well, what does it take to actually rebuild my own health? I have to go and research. I want to learn again from the basics. What are the foods I should be eating each day to be happy and healthy? What's going to fuel my body and get rid of this awful exhaustion that I was suffering from and a lowered immune system? So what would rebuild my immune system? What would give me a clarity in my mind again and get back that kind of energy and bounce that people get from exercise, because I wasn't getting that. So that transitioned me to go, okay, well, I've got to now look at other avenues for health and fitness. I'm going to try out Pilates and yoga, and Tai Chi and different things like that. So that kind of led me towards those modalities. And I just found straight away that doing Pilates type classes were able to kind of energize me and give me that zest back, but also help me feel like I'd still gotten a workout. So that's where I went, oh, there's something in this. This is kind of a nicer approach. I'm not getting as sore as I used to get from doing other exercises, but I was still able to maintain tone, like muscle tone, and keep my weight very healthy. and just start to feel in control of my well-being again. So since then, I've studied that extensively, and it's now kind of my number one go-to method with a lot of my online and offline clients and people I work with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Obviously, that's an extensive history right there. And you having been a personal instructor, you would maybe have a comment to this. Is there a direct relationship between exercising and success?
Exercise, what, sorry? Direct
Is that
relationship between
exercising and success in life?
I believe so. I'll say yes to that. And the reason being is that physical fitness underpins every other aspect of your health. Okay? And good health underlies good relationships with yourself, your partner, your family, your work colleagues, your business colleagues. And then what happens when you're healthy and you've got energy and physical fitness, you can go and do what you need to do every day. You can go and work on your finances with a clear mind and a good plan. You can go and work on relationships, because if you're fit and happy within yourself through good quality exercise that's balanced, it certainly filters over to other aspects of your life. I believe it's the pin. And actually, Joseph Pilates, who was the gentleman who founded this technique back in the early 1900s, he was German. He worked with soldiers in the war, rehabilitated them. He basically said physical fitness is the prerequisite to happiness.
Right.
And so fast forward, a couple of 100 years, we're in the midst of, social media and so much more pressure, and everything's online and offline, and we're expected to be in so many places at once. What often people forget about is their own physical health and well-being. So it's like if you're missing that part of yourself, what good is money? What good is relationships if you're feeling awful in yourself, or if you're not body confident and energetic every day?
Absolutely, because you can't do well if you cannot feel well. That's what I'm hearing from you there. Now, the thing that you major most in there, Vanessa, is holistic exercise, and you help people with health practices, and you also went ahead and studied mind-body connection and its power in healing and restoring, health and energy. I thought when you go to the gym, all you do is lift heavy things, run on the treadmill, sweat a little bit, and that's exercise.
It is exercise. You're not wrong. But again, I think we've shifted as a human race. There's more demands on us in society. So when demands increase on our physical and mental health, so too do our requirements for good health. So for example, if you're already, and it's nothing wrong, like go for a walk, go to the gym, do weights and walking and things like that, and use the equipment. However, you've just got to know or understand, is it serving the purpose for where you're at physically? So for me, I was at burnout point years back. I had to stop that because it didn't feel right for me anymore, because I already had too much stress. So what I'm noticing, the trend is with so many females and males just around the place in general, if you're already at a level of certain stress in the body, yes, you want to go to do exercise to release that energy, which is a great thing. But the holistic viewpoint is to go, okay, well, maybe today, instead of running for half an hour, which is pretty intensive on the body, if you've just had a big day and you're stressed, why not do a few yoga stretches or Pilates moves that might, be less intensive on your physical body, which is already under pressure, but a little bit more of a gentle, holistic kind of way, reduce that cortisol in the body, which is the stress hormone, and then also give you a bit more mental clarity. Because what I've realized too is today people need more mental clarity from their exercise and their health. Whereas before it used to be about, let's just go, go, go and sweat, right? That's what everyone grew up with what exercise should be. But now mental health's a concern too. So many more people have depression, anxiety. I've worked with mental health patients in the Canterbury district, and we got an award for innovation in healthcare, working with mentally ill clients in terms of, schizophrenia, bipolar, anxiety, depression, helping them learn to meditate and do holistic Pilates-based and stretching exercise to boost their moods, boost their confidence. So if it so it kind of, that holistic approach is, I feel, something that we all need a little bit more of. And just to look at your weekly exercise pattern and go, all right, maybe I'll do 3 days of weights, maybe 2 days a week. I'm pretty tired by Friday. I might do a, yoga stretch or a Pilates type workout to get my muscles working, but also to get the mind-body connection and relieve that stress for the day.
Absolutely. Great stuff right there, because, that's why there's organizations like Are You Okay? Because we might think that we are connected just because we've got a smartphone, in our hands, but, humans still crave for that connection. And that's what is really causing a lot of, the mental breakdowns that we are experiencing. And, people like yourself are able to assist, while, using holistic exercise, techniques. Now, you are now a mother, you are an entrepreneur, and you also obviously are practicing your exercises. Can you just walk us through how you manage to juggle all of those and while still remaining sane? Since we've spoken to you for 10 minutes, you haven't freaked out.
That's a very good point. My partner would disagree with you as he left with the baby in the stroller. Let me tell you, let me get ready for this interview. I can't have the baby stuff in the interview. So yeah, Lincoln's about 6.5 months right now. And to be honest, that was a whole other journey. So I was doing my Pilates and stretching as best I could all the way up until probably a few weeks before he was born. So I had to modify those exercises, but found that it was still nice to just, gently work the arms and the legs, let the tummy have a bit of a rest, of course. But then after the birth, I did have quite a stressful birth where I almost fractured my coccyx. So my back was badly damaged. So I basically have had to rehabilitate myself the last 6 months. The first 7 weeks or so, I could barely walk or sit or stand. So actually putting into place the basics of what I teach others when they're starting out, how to properly connect with your core muscles, how to gently build your posture from the basics up. I had to go back to that myself and rehabilitate and actually use those basics and go, okay, that's all right. I've had this amazing baby, but the body has suffered a little. Let's build back up. So 6.5 months on, I'm pretty good. I'm 80% back there again and building up nicely due to the exercises I teach everyone. So I definitely practice what I preach with that in that regard. In regards to staying sane, I'd say scheduling helps as well. In terms of, children are unpredictable, as we know. So look, I'll jump on the computer in the evenings or when he's asleep in the day as best I can and help clients and do my business duties. At the same time, I value family time. So it has been this juggling act to go, all right, what's the best scenario I can create here with maintaining some good physical health? I ask for help, I'm lucky I do have my parents who can help with the baby or, some of my partner's family. But at the end of the day, I want to be a great mum. So I'm trying to be a role model for him to go, you can still do a business, even though it's a bit more part-time. I've got a wonderful team of instructors taking some of my classes, which frees me up to do more online programs for people. And then, having that schedule day to day or just week to week, but also being flexible, Prosper. Sometimes I think as entrepreneurs, we try and be too rigid and go, okay, we have to have this schedule set Monday to Sunday to achieve X, Y, Z goals. Sometimes in life, that's not always realistic. And you may have days where things don't go to plan. So learning to go, okay, that's fine. I can pick up where I left off and having that be a picture of your big goals in mind kind of helps you keep moving along. But having a good daily plan of excellent food choices, lots of water, decent sleep where you can, or meditation, and then that holistic exercise approach, listening to your body and doing things to build your posture, your core, and stretching out muscles when we're all on devices and computers all the time, right? So learning to, strengthen our back and our postural muscles. So there's a combination of things there.
Absolutely. You got me. you got me stretching now, just as soon as you mentioned it. Absolutely. No, you mentioned Yeah, while you were talking, you did mention that you've got online programs. Can you just walk us through what it is that people would be getting from you if they do sign up to any online program that you offer?
Sure. So I've got a 10-week Pilates Body Fit program, which is a video program people can do at home. A lot of people I've met simply don't have time anymore, or the help that they need, with family and so forth, to make it into gyms, Pilates studios, and face-to-face type classes. So I created a 10-week video progressing anyone from a beginner level up to a more intermediate to advanced level to build those postural muscles, core strength, flexibility, and muscle tone. So that's my primary online program right now, helping people within that. And later this year, I'll be working on an adrenal and chronic fatigue exercise recovery program to really help people build back their nutrition and fitness from a place of coming from that chronic fatigue or that high stress point where you can't do any other exercise.
Absolutely. Obviously, food becomes, the fuel that you're going to be eating. So you keep referring to nutrition. Can you just point us towards, maybe I'm sitting at my desk right now. What sort of foods would you recommend that somebody snack on just so that they maintain that optimal health and fuels that are needed for their body, while I put away my chocolate and candy? Stash that stays on there.
Yeah, and that's allowed sometimes too. It's not about being perfect. It's allowing treats into your life. Otherwise, life is boring. But actually, I did something really cool the other day. I made some little protein balls made out of macadamia nuts, cashew nuts, dates, and a little bit of rice syrup. So it's actually on my blog, on vanessabhealth.com. Go to the blog. It's the most recent one. So making little things like that, it took 5 minutes, just chopping up the ingredients, putting it in a food processor. You're getting some healthy fats from your nuts, the cashews, macadamias, and some nice energy and fiber and vitamins from the dates. And it's a little kind of healthy snack you can sit on your desk rather than having processed sugars. I snack a lot on vegetables as well. So I'll cut up celery, carrots, banana, fruits, have a lot of fruit. So I'd rather make a plate of that for myself at, 3 or 4 o'clock when we're getting a bit tired. If you're doing computer work, have like your little protein balls, or have some nuts, fruit, olives, things with good fats, and then carrots and celery sticks as well with some salsa is always a bit tasty but low fat. Having a good breakfast as well is quite important. Having said that, I don't think it's important that you have breakfast at a certain time. Do what works for your body. So for example, if I'm up early, I will often have a green tea, something to kind of kickstart, sometimes a coffee, and then some nice fresh fruit, quite often, and muesli. And then later on at say 10:30, 11, I'll have a big brunch, and that works well for me. So I don't have a set, breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner kind of thing. I've worked out, well, actually, this is when I feel I need my big amount of food. So I have something really solid at, 10:30, 11, like an early brunch type thing. That gets me through. I think as well, people begin to think they have to be very regimented with that, being business owners or just being busy people. Listen to your body, listen to what you need when you need it. If you tune in and if you kind of do some meditation and go, what is it that I feel like? You might feel like a packet of chips. Look, some days that's going to happen. But if that's happening and those cravings are happening for, salty, fatty, sugary foods, you're missing some vitamins. So pull back and bring it back to basics and go, okay, have I had 3 to 4 pieces of fruit today? Have I had 5 lots of veggies or some salad? Have I had a piece of lean protein or some fish or tuna? And if you're ticking off those basic boxes to start with, that's a pretty good start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, like I keep repeating and saying, you can't do well if you actually do not, feel well. You did allude to your website a little bit earlier on, but I don't think people would have gotten it. Can you just repeat the website where those macadamia recipes are?
Sure. vanessabhealth.com.
Okay, I will be putting it in the show notes over there, and so that people can, get a hold of you. Now, Vanessa, obviously, we could go on and on. You've got a wealth of knowledge, that you could impart on us. But you would also understand that this is the beginning of the year. We're probably in week number 2 of the second month. People were just been on holiday, and maybe people made resolutions to, have a healthy year. And have a smashing 2018, but now in about a week or so it's going to be Valentine's, and it's going to be chocolates, and then it all goes downhill from then on. What sort of advice do you normally give, considering you have taken yourself on a 6-month journey, of recovery and literally rehabilitating yourself? And so that would have been a strong mindset and zeal that got you through. What sort of advice or just journey tidbits can you give to people that on a journey to a healthy existence?
Sure. The thing that works for me the best is always reviewing your goals. So having some kind of diary or, note-taking device or whatever works for you, or a notebook. I often like putting pen to paper for goals, because there's something a bit different about tangible goals rather than everything on devices, right? So actually going at the start or at the end of the month, which would be, last week, okay, how did January go in my fitness, in my health, in my relationships? How am I going with my business, my work, or whatever goals are important to you, your family, and just going, okay, this is a few great things that happened, maybe two or three things per category that happened well for you, that were successful, and then a couple of things that you went, okay, well, I've learned this lesson here. And it's not about beating yourself up. It's just kind of going, okay, let's just reflect on this. What can we improve? Because in, 6 months, I do want to be doing 20 push-ups, for example, or I do want to have that promotion at work, or I do want to have X amount of clients in my business. Whatever those goals are for you personally, it's just about constantly reviewing. So even rehabilitating myself in the last 6.5 months, there's been times where I've been really down. Going at the start, I was thinking, oh my gosh, if I can hardly walk after having a baby, how am I ever going to do Pilates and exercise again, which is the one thing that keeps me sane, that gives me my medicine, So taking things step by step, wherever you're at. If you're a high achiever, or if you're in a bit of a slump, it doesn't matter. Just day by day, just look at where you're at, take a step back and go, you know what? Life's pretty good. We're actually pretty all lucky to be here. Be grateful as well for where you're at. Some days it will suck. That's life. We know that. But yeah, just having that review monthly, I would say, is really handy, because as you said, the New Year's resolutions have kind of filtered off now. It's into the second month of the year. Have people even remembered what they wanted to work on? Or was it just a fantasy that lasted for a few days? So in any aspect of your life, health, family, relationships, work, let's just go, right, well, let's highlight, where do we want to head in February with a couple of these things? What's one thing I could do this week to just work on my health a little more? You know what? Maybe I'll go come and do one of my YouTube 10-minute videos, if that's all it takes. Do something simple, but keep it simple, day by day, step by step, and just be grateful for where you're at as well.
Absolutely. I like that. The whole keep it simple and, take it a day as it comes, because, we don't actually realize that, dedicating ourselves to just work can lead us to actually failing in life, because you now have a lack of motivation. You're distracted from your physical and mental health. Like you mentioned earlier on that, the more fatigue you get, it affects your mental health and well-being. And, without vigor, we can't strive for things that we actually want, such as our career and meeting our family needs. So I can't thank you enough, Vanessa, for shedding the light on things that may seem trivial, in our day-to-day lives, and, helping us have a healthier existence, which will lead us to having businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Great stuff.